Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking at a 2007 Toyota Alphard. This one here, a 2.4 liter front wheel drive version, 121,000 kilometers on it. We're going to check over the condition of it before it gets shipped over to Canada. This is another of the auction purchase reviews. Okay, so first off, the engine. Running condition is good, coolant and oil both look good, and that's a nice happy surprise because it seems like the interior of the vehicle is fairly neglected. It has a lot of dirtiness inside, some stinkiness, and some cigarette smell. More of that in a second. Okay, these 2.4 liter engines are ultra reliable. You don't really have to worry too much about any of them. We've sold a ton of these and we rarely ever have issues with them. And so good, healthy, reliable, nice amount of space in these, cool looks. I adore the looks of the Alphard. I think that these overall are one of the best minivans that you can get here in Japan. And yes, this is kind of like the Japanese version of the Sienta. The footprint is a lot smaller. Interior is a little bit tighter, but I think better use of space. Okay, I'm going to switch the engine off here, and then we're going to go review the exterior, interior. We're going to check the auction inspection sheet. Okay. You can see a little rev. It revs like a fuel-efficient car. Now, you might notice that the gauge hood is a little bit tarnished. This is something I don't think I've ever seen in the several thousand vehicles that I've reviewed. Probably close to 3,000 cars that I've personally shot these videos for. Never seen anything like it. Usually people don't touch that, so it never gets scratched. This one looks like it built up like a film of like dust or something, and it was common for someone to get it out of the way wearing gloves or something. The interior of the vehicle looks like it has almost never been cleaned ever, so it is a little bit unfortunate. 121,000 kilometers is about a little bit high for Japan, I guess about medium / a little bit low for Canada where this one's going. And so my impressions of the car, well, exterior is pretty good in the important parts. It has a really nice looking factory Aero kit on it. It has some scratches on the Aero parts, like the front bumper, the side skirts, the rear bumper. Any of the metal parts are actually really good with very few dents anywhere. This one here, let's see. Oh geez, I've forgotten where that was. I thought it was right there on the handle. There's like, oh, here it is on this side. I am being dyslexic. This dent here is probably the biggest area of damage on the body, not including the plastic parts. Maybe this one here is a runner-up. There's two areas of touch-up paint right there. And so, that's not a scratch. This is. Okay, so scratch there and a dent there. And then I'll talk about the body stuff after I finish translating the auction inspection sheet for you. So let's go ahead and do that right away. Oh, and the battery is dead. You might not have to replace it, but you might have to. I needed a battery jump box to start it. Okay, so 2007 Alphard AS sunroof model. This is an auction grade 4BB. I feel like I don't think they inspected it very well. I think there are a few things that they could have mentioned better here. I think a few things they could have mentioned better here. And I really think this is more like a 3.5 CC. It is still a good vehicle with solid bones. It needs just a little bit of work to bring it back. And the interior absolutely needs to be cleaned. And then you've got a nice, good vehicle. Usually this auction is quite a bit less expensive than other auctions too. Well, not quite a bit, but noticeably so. And I don't think that I've noticed any problems with this auction's inspections. More so than I've actually seen, like, every auction sometimes has a car that's not inspected very well, and it seems like that's more the case. So I personally wouldn't avoid this auction, which is LAA, as you can see. Anyways, on to this. What do we got? Okay, original pearl paint, dual AC, automatic transmission. Of course, the sales points are combination steering wheel, front side view monitor. Not there. Where's the side view monitor? There is a monitor that's in the mirror there. There is this one here. I guess that's what they're talking about. There's two camera lenses in there that help you see against your front bumper if you want to. There is a model that has a camera in here, but not this one. I don't know what they call that one. Okay, I don't know what that word says. Oh man, that is terrible writing. HID, toll collection box. Smart door locks. Okay. I think it's just keep the fob in your pocket type thing. Dual side power sliding doors, leather looking seat covers. They're actually not very good seat covers. I'll show you in a sec. And then it says original Toyota Navi with digital TV tuner, windshield rock chip, interior scratched, cigarette burn, and dirty. Headliner is dirty. Now, if you ever see headliners dirty, the biggest cause of this is cigarette smoke. And so usually a headliner dirty car tends to be one that has a cigarette smell inside. Now, I rated the cigarette smell in this one a 4 out of 10. It's absolutely not disgusting, but it is smellable. So a proper cleaning and a ozone machine can take that smell out for you. And I think that you should be able to get pretty much all of it out. If not completely all of it. Wheel scratched, which I didn't really notice. Door mirror scratched. I don't know, not too big of a deal. And then these marks here, I feel like they could have been a little bit more descriptive. As an example, see the front bumper says AA. Well, one of those is this one here, which seems pretty severe for being like just labeled as an A. A lot of other auctions will show you more visibly how big the scratches are, or will say A2 or A3 on it. It's a downside of this auction here. Okay, so that's the sheet. Let's go talk about the car. And I feel like I've been pretty hard on it in the inspection. I don't think that this is a bad car. It just needs some cleaning up. I really dig the Aero kit on it. Of course, it's not too aggressive, but it is nice looking. It looks like it's a factory option Aero kit. You also have gold badges there. Okay. And I think these Alphards, the most common color for them is this pearl white, and I think it's the best color in my opinion. Okay, so now let's take a look at the details here. You got a front grille that doesn't have any rock chips or anything, any kind of fade. That's good. Headlights are faded a little bit. You can absolutely get these headlights polished up to clear them up a bit. They are gray inside naturally. There's like a kind of a bronzish gray color to the chrome, which makes them look a little bit darker in the videos, but they're supposed to be darker. But you can see the cloudiness like at an angle there. The front bumper has this scratch here and a number of other lighter scratches. Rock chip here. There's like a scratch along here. You may be able to polish these out because they're really shallow. And then some rock chips and small little chips along here. It has integrated fog lights, and the fog lights are kind of angry. Watch out, fog. Okay. Minivans with body kits are totally a Japanese thing, and I love it. Big wheels, people put Brembo brakes on these all the time. It's pretty funny, but it's cool. This is a special mirror that gives you 2 different mirrors on the inside of this. One of them allows you to see your hood clearance, like how far you are against something here, and another one gives you the same sort of clearance on this fender area here. Okay. Door mirrors have markers in them, which back in 2007 was extra cool. It's kind of a Mercedes-Benz thing from the early 2000s, or BMW. Okay, now save for this and this, you can see that these very big side panels are pretty good. The paint condition is good. There are a few minor scratches, but nothing major, nothing that really stands out there. Now the side skirt here, unfortunately, has some scuff damage along the bottom. Okay, and it is made out of plastic, and this is a lesson that Toyota and all their other manufacturers learned from their history, is if you make your side skirts out of plastic and they wrap around the underside, you don't have rust on the bottom like you did in the 70s and 80s and even much of the 90s cars. Okay, there's a little weird chip here with some surface rust coming through. The back bumper has a minor scratch here. Okay. That is smoking. And Doesn't smell good either. A minor dent right here. Going down this side, again we're looking pretty similar. A very good side panels, but accumulated some damage in the plastic at the bottom here. Now, this damage, of course we don't want any damage on any car, but when you look at the car, you've got all this car to look at, and this damage is down here and not that noticeable. And so it doesn't take away a lot from the car compared to something that's more around the door handles or around the front bumper corners or something that's a little bit more visible. We got a bit more down here. Looks like they were hitting their door into something. Okay, we have the pretty common minor scratches around the door handle area. This comes from fingernails. That's why every time I go to open a door, I'm very, very careful never to touch the inside of this with fingernails, whether it be my car or someone else's car. You see so many of these claw-like scratches right in there. Okay. Coming down here, looking good, looking good, looking good. The underside is beautiful. Okay, the roof looking good. It is a dual sunroof. Let me just pop up there so that you can see. 1, 2. Power doors. Okay, so let's have a look at the interior of the rear. Here you can see the seat covers. These seat covers probably have to go. The one on the driver's seat is really rough, and you probably don't want to have like mismatching seat covers, or none on the driver's seat and yes on the rest of the car. It's really up to you. You can do what you want with your car, but take these off and you're going to have good condition seats, which is good that they had them on in the first place because the car's rather dirty in here. Take a look at the carpet. Have some staining there. Have the cigarette smell is noticeable. Okay. These seats also rotate, so you can seat them backwards if you want, which is really cool. You even get an auxiliary seat belt here that you can use only when it's facing backwards. Otherwise, you get the standard 3-point. There's something about these. Every car that has these seatbelt stoppers turns out to be a car that is a little bit dirty or gross. There's some sort of like overlap between people who put these on their cars and people who don't clean their cars. Kind of weird. Okay, so some little damage to the vinyl up there. It looks like a kind of a rather cheap seat cover, definitely not an OEM one. Okay, I showed you this briefly, but you got cup holders in there, and yeah, really dirty. Definitely going to need to wash this unit a lot. There's your audio video, which we don't really use anymore, but you can get conversions if you want to, and that'll play on the player up there. This one doesn't have the optional monitor. There's a flip down there, unfortunately. You also have 2 100-watt plugins, which are good for charging, but not an awful lot else. Okay, you get cup holders in the door cards, one on each side. When you flip down, let's see, has 2 cup holders. Okay. Getting into the rear is probably easier when you don't have these seat covers on. You pull this and it should fold forward and slide forward all easily, but because of the seat covers, it kind of holds itself in place. Okay, plenty of room to get in here. Both rows slide forward and back. Okay, you have a kind of like a mini tray type thing with someone's old Band-Aid package. Yes, it is a wholesale buying experience. You can get a cleaner car than this, but who knows? The auction is where the dealers buy their cars from, then they clean them up and then they sell them. So you save money by doing that stuff yourself. But Alphards, they're a bit hit and miss. I'd say overall it's pretty common to get a nice clean one. They tend to be owned frequently by the grandparents who rarely drive around their kids. So sometimes you get one that has been well used by a family, so to speak. I'm guessing that this one here was used by a family because who else is putting Minnie's ribbon on there? Also a little bit annoying that that doesn't line up to exactly where it was. A memory seat would be awesome. but it isn't here. So I'll just manually put that back into position. And a monitor for a mount for a monitor here. Okay, we'll go into the front seat in a second. And I did test both of those power sliding doors. They both work with buttons on the dashboard if you want. Okay, back seat area here. These seats can flip to the side. They're side flip style. That's down and up, giving you more room in here, or you can push them forward. They're on these rails. They go up to there. So you can have probably about a meter of space here. Okay, needs a good vacuum. It's not too terribly dirty in the back there. And most of the dirtiness is in the frontal area. So it means it wasn't the kids that messed it up, it was the parents. Let's pop this key out. Okay, door card here. Very stained. A lot of splash of drink in here. So it should be pretty easy to clean up. It's a hard plastic. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser if degreaser doesn't work. Same thing goes here, really dirty. Here's the seats, and the seats are in good shape from what I can see, but I couldn't pull these seat covers up to have a look. And so sagginess, you don't feel anything through these, and so they're structurally really good, and likely these seat covers have been on here for a good long time, and so unlikely to be ripped underneath. Sometimes you'll see people put seat covers on to hide a rip. It doesn't look like that's the case here. And these seats are pretty robust. Like the Alphard is kind of a Lexus grade vehicle, high quality paint, high quality interior, and things just don't break down too much. Seat carpet, rather dirty, a lot of dust and like kind of, look, cigarette ash right there. I guess they missed, I guess they missed the ashtray, but where is the ashtray on this? That's not it. How do you miss that far? Yeah, it's all kind of on here. And now I feel like I want to wash my hands. Okay, so, yeah, gauge set. I said the backing has some scratches. I think those gauges are, pretty normal. Nothing really to write home about. Here we have our power sliding buttons, power sliding door buttons, something sticky on the dashboard there, and something that used to be mounted on top of the airbag, which is a terrible place to mount anything. If you ever mount something on your dashboard, don't do it on your airbag, because that explodes when the airbag is being used. Hence, you're going to get a Navi unit in the face. Probably pretty painful, and pretty easy to see that that's going to be the potential problem with that. A little bit of damage there. Did I already point that out? I feel like I did. Okay. Shifting is good. Steering feels nice and tight. Brakes feel good. Engine response. I don't love the engine response in these, but they are made for fuel economy instead of performance. So this is not a sports car. This is like almost pretty ironic. They have their remote control wrapped in plastic as if they knew that they were going to be really dirty in their car. You never get remote controls wrapped in plastic. The Strata one from factory doesn't get wrapped in plastic like this. They went out of their way to get a machine that shrink wraps stuff so that they could shrink wrap their remote control. I'll just put that down here. And it's a remote control for Strata, which is not this one. Strata is made by Panasonic. And so that was maybe the one that was mounted on top there at some point. This box here has a nice big section to put things in it. Also a slot on the side. Obviously needs to be cleaned. Has a floor mat here from a Daihatsu Move, of all things. And the original one underneath it. And the original one has some coffee stands on it. And that's my battery jump box there. Okay, you can see headliner dirty there, all here. It kind of looks like a type of, this is the type of that you get when you try to wash it, but then you don't wash it completely. And that's sagging down a little bit. Vents up there in the top. Carpets, yeah, needs some wash. So, as I said, it does need some work, especially in cleaning it up. Maybe a little bit of touch-up paint. That's my buddy. Watch this. Come here. Come here. I brought that cat some cat food one time, and because he was being really nice to me and giving me cuddles and things. Maybe a dangerous thing to touch one of these homeless pork cats, but he was being nice, so I got him some cat food. Since then, he hasn't been nice to me. Maybe it wasn't the best cat food. Maybe he thinks, well, I'm not getting anything unless you get me some cat food. And I haven't bought any more since. So anyway, there it is. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.